Today, I am joined by Rosemary Gige, a founder of Potentia, a platform that unlocks human potential and builds a culture for purpose-driven success, significance, influence, and legacy in the marketplace. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes. So today we'd like to focus on only one of these areas we've mentioned, and this area is purpose.
Purpose essentially, and especially when you're having the conversation of life purpose, it is the intent for which God created you. When you're talking about life purpose, it is God's original intent for your life.
So we're starting with the assumption that everybody was brought to this earth for a purpose.
Exactly. Exactly, because you'll agree with me. Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
Ever seen anything, anywhere, without a purpose? Have you ever seen anything created by man, even a small kid, that had no use?
Even a small kid?
Even a small kid.
It's debatable, but let's continue.
Absolutely not. Actually, it's not even possible. And I'd like to give you that homework. Go try create something without a purpose.
Okay.
I think even the way we are wired as human beings, it is impossible for us to conceive something that has no intent or purpose. And if we as God's creation cannot achieve that, how much more so God, who is the author and creator of everything? And actually, purpose precedes creation. Purpose precedes creation, because there has to be an intent for which this thing is being created. And just as man creates for intent, so does God create for intent. So like you have just said, every single person was created for a purpose.
So 46 million people in Kenya, each came onto this earth for a purpose.
Absolutely. I like to think that at some point, God had a need. And when he thought about who he's going to create for that need, he chose Rosemary, he chose Solomon, he chose Onyango, he chose Wangari, he chose Musyoka. He just decided, this is the specific person whom I'm going to create to come and fulfill this specific need. And actually that also informed how he was going to wire, how he was going to bring together this person, what it was that they were going to carry in themselves as a tool for his purpose, so they can successfully deliver his intention. So purpose is critical because it even informs why you are who you are, why you carry what you have, especially in terms of your endowments, why you have the personality that you have. Even in terms of your history, why God has taken you through the history that he's taken you through. Everything is very strategic as far as God's mind is concerned, because he wants to ensure that the intent for which everybody was created is achieved.
Then what is it? What is it, our purpose? Because we are here. So, and before we find out what it is, because we've said that everybody who comes to this earth comes for a purpose. Now, some people are born with disabilities. Some cannot hear, others cannot see, others cannot walk, and so on. Are you saying that these people were designed in that way for a purpose, despite their disabilities? Are you saying they still came to this earth and they have a purpose?
Absolutely.
They have a purpose.
They have a purpose, because as far as life purpose and in terms of manifesting what it is we are here to do is concerned, God would ensure that you have whatever capabilities that are necessary.
So they still have what it takes
they still
to
have
fulfill
what it takes.
Their purpose.
Exactly. So minus the disabilities, they have capabilities to fulfill what it is that he wants them
that
to
they
achieve.
came here for.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then we go, once we come, we don't have this manual. We don't know what we came here to do. Yeah? We didn't come with a manual. How do we find out what our purpose is?
When you buy a new product, a package you've never seen before, something you do not know what it is all about, when you open it up and you want to understand how to use it, where do you look for the information?
At the manual.
At the manual. The manual essentially is the mind of the creator of the item item. Since this particular person may have created this item, maybe they're in Japan, they're in the UK, US. So they have created a manual and sent it forth with the item to you, so that once you open this particular product, you can read the manual, understand the mind of the creator, and understand what it is that this item was meant for. And it's something unique about a manual. Before it even explains how to use an item, the first thing they do is to itemize the components for that particular item. If it's an item that has buttons or knobs or something, they explain they name every part of it. So they first name the parts, and then they explain how it functions. And that is the mind of the creator. So if you want to understand your life purpose, you need to go back to
the creator.
You definitely have to tap into the mind of the creator, because it's the creator of a thing that has the full understanding. In fact, they are the carriers of the reason why they created this item. They are the carriers of how they have put together this particular item, of the components they have put together, and how they should function together. So as individuals who are created by God, we definitely must go back to God to understand our life purpose, because He is the giver of life purpose. He's the creator, the definer, and the giver, the revealer of life purpose. And I like telling people that I don't believe that when you're talking about life purpose and exclude God from that conversation, that you're talking purpose anymore. Because if you exclude the mind of the creator from the conversation about the function of that thing, then I think you're talking about something totally different. If you take God out of that conversation, maybe you're discussing passion, maybe you're discussing gifts and talents, or personality traits, because those are things that we can study ourselves and analyze ourselves about and understand. Because God has given us that capability to analyze ourselves and understand ourselves. But the moment you want to tap into the conversation of purpose, you cannot exclude God.
There are others. You see, some of us are grown, we are doing jobs and so on. Is it possible that some of us are living our purpose without actually, knowing that it is our purpose? Are there situations where life just guides you in that direction?
Yeah, there's some people who are very fortunate to walk a path of life, and the day they actually clarify purpose, they discover, I've actually been doing purpose. I actually just didn't know it was purpose. But the majority of people, in all honesty, they just follow a path as life guides them. And I'm sure even if you get onto the streets and begin asking people, if you had all you needed in terms of provisions, especially if you have money, provision, and your bills are taken care of, and you have enough for yourself and even perhaps to give out, would you report to work tomorrow? Wherever it is that you report to work tomorrow, you'd be surprised. Majority of people would tell you no.
Absolutely.
That's a question we normally ask during our open days, and we tell people, how many of you sincerely, if you got 1 billion Kenya shillings tonight, would report to that particular job tomorrow, or that business? Because there's some people who are in business, so they are self-employed, but they are honest to say, if I had the money, I wouldn't go back to that biashara. So majority of people are actually in search of their identity and purpose, because they went to school. Of course, some people performed well, others didn't perform well, and then everybody around them told them, "Hii career ndio tops, hii ndio iko na pesa." And by then, normally the definition is, this one is the one that will get you a job. This one is the one that will prosper you. So most people are following a narrative of money and prosperity the way the world understands it. So you find yourself eventually landing into a job that has totally nothing to do with the matters of your heart, but rather the matters of what the world told you. So most people are actually in a space where they're very frustrated, and if they could find this purpose and begin to work in that space, they would live.
So how would one know that they are in their purpose? And the same question will answer, how will one know that they are not
in their purpose?
Yes.
There are indicators for not being in purpose, and some of them are very obvious.
Which ones are these?
The first one is, of course, The beautiful thing about purpose, actually, either way, whether you're in or out, is that you know, and you know that you either know you know your life purpose or you don't. Ni kama kuokoka. Unajua kama nimeokoka ama sijaokoka.
Yes.
You know, it's not debatable like I think I am born again. No, you know you either born again or you're not born again. Likewise with purpose, when you clarify your purpose and you know your purpose, because when God speaks and when he clarifies it to you, it's very clear to you. You know exactly what it is. And when you don't know, you actually know, I don't know my purpose and I'm in search of purpose. But then in terms of manifestation, when you're outside of your purpose, it's a very frustrating space to be.
So what are these things? What were these things that would be frustrating for us to know?
Exactly.
Or for somebody who hasn't had this class of purpose. Because this is not a very well-known conversation of purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and people are out here working and doing all sorts of things. What is the indicator? What are these indicators that will tell us?
The first indicator is your own feelings. It is your own feelings. The frustration of lack of fulfillment. You know you're not fulfilled in the space where you are at. You know you are in search of a greater self. You know every morning you're saying, I believe there's a higher me. I believe there is more to my life. Have you ever reached a point in your life and you began to say, is this all there really is to my life? You know, you know there is more to, there is more meaning.
Or I keep praying for a door to open. I feel like I'm waiting for something.
You're waiting for something, you're pushing, you want to push into something, but you're just not clear what that is. And I personally speak that from my own personal experience because in my previous job, it got to a point where I would even ask God when I'm driving to work, why am I driving to work in this direction? Our offices were in Gigiri. Why am I driving to work in this direction? I was so frustrated. You feel the disconnection. Disconnection is real. The feeling of disconnection within is very, very real. Yeah. And you can tell if I can get something that would satisfy me more, fulfill me more, bring me more joy. Some people by then normally are even ready to take a cut.
Next time on Clean Money Wednesday.
Now, there's one challenge with purpose. And just like you've mentioned in your case, you are working in a certain environment and you felt this is not what was not fulfilling to you. But you see, you are an adult then. Yeah? Most of us and most of the people we speak to, it is the same case. Others were working in the banking institution and they learned that no, my purpose is in teaching and so on. And so on. Why is it that we are finding out our purposes, let's say later in our lives?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's a very, very good question.
This is Clean Money TV.